Everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ and Friends. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and it is Thursday, which means it's time for Getting Real to Heal with Dr. Matt, none other than Dr. Matt Lederman, where he brings on a real person just like you. Contact us at help@chefaj.com if there's something you want to work on. And he works with them in a very unique way using some of his techniques like nonviolent communication and all kinds of cool things. It's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of somatic. It's kind of pretty cool once you get it. Please welcome Dr. Matt.
Hey, thanks, AJ. How you doing?
Good. I had dental surgery. So I'm not really actually doing terrible, but we get so used to saying good even if we're not good. I'm in a lot of pain, but I'm okay.
Yeah, is it better than it was before, or is it still hurting about the
No,
same?
it still hurts, but the dentist said, well, hey, going from a 10 to an 8 is good, and then tomorrow it'll be a 7. But it was more painful than I anticipated. But, what can I do? I can't put the tooth back. I can't go back in time. So, you just deal with stuff as it arises, but it's not pleasant.
No, no, I hear you.
Yeah.
I actually, actually was outside and slipped on the ice, and my feet shot up in the air, and I whacked my shoulder and my rib and my hip, and it was like a mess. So I've been icing, and I can't get undressed without my someone pulling my shirt off. It's like a
Oh.
whole thing. So, but I don't think I broke anything. So that was a
Well,
good
this,
fall.
this is another reason that you need to get out of New Jersey and come back to California because you
Yeah.
don't slip on ice here. A lot of things can happen in California, but nobody slips on ice that I know of, unless
Okay.
they're ice skating.
Nobody's slipping on ice. Okay, that's good. Well, my family is superstitious, so they said that when you fell that and something bad happens, it prevented something else bad from happening. So I don't know what was going to happen, but I guess supposedly this is better.
That's funny. So,
Anyway, well, good.
who have you got for us today, and what is the topic you're going to be delving into?
Yeah, so Sherry is back and was gracious enough to talk about another area of opportunity for connection. And I actually wanted first say just welcome Sherry and
Thank you.
thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And I just wanted to check in how you before we even talk about what we're going to talk about, because I think depending on sort of where your nervous system is at in the moment, that'll determine, which of the topics or where we go. And my sense is that maybe you're feeling a little bit nervous, or I just wanted to check in.
Yeah, the situation isn't exactly what I planned on.
Hmm.
So,
So, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, can you tell me more about that without getting into? Because my goal here is for you to feel safe at all times,
mhm,
comfortable, and um, we can shift directions. We can talk in more generalities. We don't have to post the show, and you can stop altogether. So there's 100% choice. And I also wanted to point out that our goal is never to demonize whoever you're talking about. In fact, as you've probably seen from all the other episodes we've done, my goal is that we need to connect to the other person and see all of the needs that they're trying to meet with the behaviors that they're doing, even if we don't like their behavior or
mhm,
strategy. So I'm always trying to see their good intentions.
yeah,
And I think that's really important, that we're
definitely.
not here to demonize anybody. And we don't have to talk about anything that you're not comfortable. So um, let me pause there. How's that to hear?
I'm not sure what to do. Um,
Well, before you decide what to do, let's put
okay,
that on the side.
okay.
More, I want to know, how does that feel, or what's your reaction when I just said to what I just said?
Um, it relaxes me more, for sure.
Yeah,
Um, that I have a choice. That
yeah,
makes a big difference.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
Good, good. And I want you to connect to your choice. And I think if anybody watching can stay connected to their choice at all times,
Hmm.
that we always have choice. we may not always like all of our choices, but we always have choice, and we have the ability to stop and say, "Oh, I thought I was comfortable, but I'm not," or I don't really feel comfortable, continuing in this way.
Mhm.
And that's not just not with me. That's with a partner, a family member, a friend, a coworker. That you have choice, and I love people when they connect to their choice. It's very empowering.
How about could we take another route for a moment, and then if I feel I can come back, I can come back, or just
Yeah,
take the other route altogether?
yeah. I think that it would be helpful for to ground the audience around sort of some context around what you were thinking as much as you're comfortable
Sure.
sharing, and then maybe what your concerns and why what your thoughts are around shifting, but
Okay.
doing it in a way that again honors 100% your choice. So only
Okay.
share what you're comfortable.
Okay. So the topic was being in the middle of two, now really three people. It was going to be two, but the third one jumped back in.
Hmm.
So, and I'm the middleman
Hmm.
completely. And these people are asking me what to do about another person, and I can't answer for that person.
Right.
Um, I can't,
Yeah.
and it's hurting them, and it's killing me.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So it's very painful for you to have this sense that you're in the middle
Oh,
of all these people that you care about.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
I get that. And keep going. Yeah.
So the one is real close to me, and that's where my problem is right now.
Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to talk freely, or it's hard to
Right,
talk in a way that you trust that another person can hear the good
right,
intentions behind it.
correct. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So when that happens, I would love to just focus on you and not
Okay,
the other people. How does that
okay,
sound?
sure.
So when you're in a situation where you feel helpless or powerless, what can and maybe that's not the feelings. How do you feel when you're in this situation?
Um, Somewhat powerless, but very sad.
Yeah.
Um, very sad. And for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. You care
Yeah,
about all these people.
yes, very much so.
Yeah. So sadness and care for everybody, and then maybe also a little bit confused or unclear how to navigate your way through all of this.
Right.
And then
Yes.
when they ask you what they should do, or they talk about someone else in a way that doesn't meet your needs for care or something like that, it's really painful.
Yes.
Yeah. So the first thing that comes to mind, there's a couple of things. One is, how do you deal with your sadness? Two is, how do you navigate when someone comes to you and starts talking about someone else and you start to feel that tension in your body? My guess is you feel something in your body. If I come to you and I say, Sherry, let me tell you about AJ and everything that's wrong with AJ, and either AJ's nearby or could hear, or just you just care about AJ,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna probably feel something in your body.
Mm-hmm.
That is your body doesn't lie. Your body doesn't suppress. Now, we can try to suppress what our body is saying, but your body's going to feel that tension whether you want to or not. You just may not register it.
Mm-hmm.
So I like being able to connect to that tension. And when I have tension, I know there's some message my body's trying to tell me that it's not comfortable with something. And that's where I might go. So I have sadness, and I'm sort of some grief around all the disconnection. And then I feel my tension, and I'm like, oof, do I need to have some kind of compassionate boundary? Now, when I talk about compassionate boundaries, does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes.
What's your experience been with having a compassionate boundary?
Um, I guess it's the other people are understanding when I say I can't answer for this person. And for me, I guess that's a compassionate boundary that they have to accept that from me. They accept it for a while, but then they always come back.
Yeah.
With more. And
Yeah.
it could be 4 months from now. And it's kind of timed pretty good. It's very odd that they let it go and then almost like clockwork, 4 months later they pop back in.
Yeah. And is it
And
hard? Is it
here we go
hard to
again.
maintain?
Yeah.
Is it hard to maintain the boundary for you?
No, because I just give them the same
Yeah.
answer. It's hard for me to understand why they keep coming back to me and putting me in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
I do
So
understand it, but it's hard.
yeah.
Yeah. They
So
care
when
about
somebody,
me and yeah.
So it's a little bit confusing. If you already told them you're not comfortable with something, why would they come back months later and
Right.
try again?
Right.
Like, are they thinking that something changed for you? Are they not caring that that doesn't work for you? Did they forget?
They didn't
What's going on?
forget because the text that came in the other day was like, I know we talked about this before and I know what you said before, but and I'm thinking, well, I think that means I'm in the
Yeah,
same
so they know.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I would like to do is practice when somebody does something like that. And we don't have to use the exact text. We could
Okay.
fill in anything.
Sure.
But this is really good not only for emotional, boundaries around different relationships, but also food. If somebody's trying to get you to eat something and or share information that you didn't ask for, and you don't really trust their good intentions behind, they're actually trying to prove that their diet is better than yours, right? Or they have an agenda that is different than just connecting and caring for each other. So what I would love to do is hear what we could say when somebody does something like that. So when somebody, because it doesn't matter that they come and text you again. You can't control that.
Right. No. Yeah.
But you can control how you respond. How do you typically respond when you've put up a boundary and they come back again?
Well, I think it changes. It changes, unfortunately, with I think the time of day that they catch me, and the way that it's brought to me, or yeah, and things are better right now, so I can talk more freely. But when it seems to me, when my mother does it, that I get quite angry because it's usually at the end of the day. It's always at the end of the day, and it's very attacking to me and very confrontational.
Okay.
Whereas with his daughter, it's very sad and loving,
Okay.
very sad. And so I come at it a whole different way because of the way is presented to me.
Yeah.
So sad versus attacking.
So with one person, you would perceive an attack. With the other
Yes.
person, you're connecting to sadness.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So I heard you mention your mom, but I want to just check again. You're being careful about what you're comfortable sharing?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to follow your lead then. That's okay?
Yes. Yep. You're good. We're good now. Yep.
Okay. So would you like to share a little bit more, just a little bit more background? Because what I'd like to do is I'd like to actually do a little bit of a role play.
Okay.
Because it's our choice if we hear an attack or not.
Right.
And depending on how we hear it in our head, which is very hard. I hear attacks too, but I know when I hear an attack, that's my in nonviolent communication. Did we talk about jackals and giraffes?
No, I've heard some, yes, some of
You
it,
heard that?
yes.
So jackals are the what we use to talk about when you're using sort of the more conventional language with right and wrong, good and bad, win or lose, should or shouldn't. And giraffes have the largest heart of any land animal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a language from the heart around, well, what is this person feeling and needing, and what are my feelings and needs? And
Mm-hmm.
how can we come together? And the goal is, instead of being right or wrong or good or bad, the goal is, how can we meet needs to make life more wonderful for everybody?
Yep.
So when my jackals are active, that's when I know I need to give my jackal empathy. And when I hear criticism or blame or an attack, I know my jackals are active.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So what I'd like you to do, if you're willing,
Mm-hmm.
is to tell me one thing that your mom can say that gets your jackals howling.
I
What do you hear
don't
as an attack?
understand why your husband has not talked to me in years. And when I call and leave him a message, he never calls me back. I just can't believe this is happening still.
Mm-hmm. So I don't understand why your husband doesn't call me back when I leave messages, and I
Mm-hmm.
can't believe this is still happening.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So what does your jackal hear?
Well,
And
my
do the
jackal
do the
also knows that
criticism.
he has her blocked on his
Uh-huh.
phone.
Right.
So again, I'm in the middle because I know why he doesn't know she's calling because it's blocked.
Mhm.
So all of
What
that makes
are
me so stressed. I think
right?
that's where the jackal comes out.
So you feel stressed because you know the answer to her question,
Sure.
but you don't want to tell
Nope.
her the answer because that would betray trust
Correct.
from your husband. And at the same time, you see your mom in some pain.
Yes,
And
exactly.
you don't know how to hold all that because it's very
No idea.
painful for caring about all these people.
Right.
Of course, that makes a lot of sense. So this is a nice, rich experience, and you cannot fix your mom and your husband's relationship.
Nope.
You can care for both of them.
Yep.
And you can also get one of the things in nonviolent communication is, how can we get more comfortable with people's pain? And jackals do not like, they want to fix it. They want to make pain go away. They want to solve problems. Giraffes can just empathize with pain. So if we have three different sort of pain points here, we have your pain, which is where I start. Then once I've connected to your pain or to my own pain, then I can connect to other people's pain.
Mm-hmm.
So your pain might sound like, and you can do it internally. You can be like, oh, Sherry, you're feeling so torn right now. You care about both of these people so much. And there's no clear way to meet both of their needs right now. And at the same time, you hear your mom's pain and you want to be able to tend to it. And you're like, well, I don't know what to do. And if I just answer her question, boy, is that going to stimulate pain for my husband. So just connect. You can even put a hand on your heart as you do it. Like, you can just be like, I'm feeling so torn. I'm feeling
I'm feeling
so
so
sad,
torn.
so torn, so sad
So sad.
that there's this huge disconnect between my mom and my husband.
Yeah, there's a huge disconnect between my mom and my husband.
And just take a second to feel that. What would you love? Because we feel the pain, but then it's nice to connect to the need, which is, what would I love? I would love there to be a little bit more harmony and ease.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I would love for there to be a little bit more care for each other, for my mom. Maybe it's just ease and harmony. Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
just a little peace. Like, can't everybody just get along?
Right.
And I would love there's a way for my husband for me not to have to feel like I'm not being open and honest with my mom, because I know an answer to a question and I'm a little bit uncomfortable telling her I don't know. I don't know what to tell my mom in a way that will respect my husband's wishes.
Right.
So you're in this place of trying to guess how to navigate a response to your mom that meets your need for honesty and meets your husband's need for a choice around what he shares.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So does that make sense? How you would love some clarity? I'm also hearing not only some ease, but some clarity on how to care for your mom in a way that respects your husband.
Yes.
Would that feel sweet too?
Yes.
Yeah. So just connect to that. I would love some more ease and peace.
I would love some more ease and peace.
And I would love some more clarity on how to care for my mom in a way that also honors my husband.
And I would love some more clarity on how to care for my mom that would honor my husband.
Yeah. So just take a second to breathe into that. And notice as you connect to what you would love, what happens in your body.
It relaxes.
Relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just what's nice about that is just connecting to the needs gives our body some peace, which is one of the needs that you have.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think that you have to solve the problem to get to peace.
Yeah.
And that's maybe one way. But before that, we just connect to the needs there's a lot of grief here that you're dealing with, a lot of sadness,
Yep.
a lot of confusion, a lot of tornness. And it makes sense why your body's feeling that. So now that you've softened, and we're still putting on the side of the table what to do,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people like, well, what do I do? What do I say? Put that on the side. That's your
Okay.
brain that's trying to solve the problem. Remember, as a giraffe, we're not focused on solving the problem. We're focused on connecting. And when we connect, we trust that we will figure out how to solve the problem at that point.
Okay.
So now I would connect to either your mom or your husband. And my sense is to start with your mom. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. What if we were going to empathize with your mom's feelings and needs? What do you think your mom is feeling?
Oh, anger and sadness.
Anger and sadness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she probably has anger, which we get when we want to mobilize and protect ourselves. And then
Mm-hmm.
when we're underneath that is the sadness. So anger sort of guards our heart from the more
Right.
vulnerable feelings.
Yep.
So whenever I have anger, I always think about anger sitting on a shelf. And underneath anger is the SHELF. S is sadness. H is hurt. E is embarrassed or shame. L is lonely. And F is fear or scared.
Yep.
So all of those, we can get angry and guard against those feelings.
Yep.
So your mom has some sadness, and it's not comfortable for a lot of people to just be with their sadness, so they get angry.
Mm-hmm.
Because your mom could also just mourn and connect to what she would love. She would love to know that she matters,
Mm-hmm.
and some consideration and responsiveness.
Yep.
So when your mom, now I just sort of did it for you, but you connect to your mom's needs there, that your mom feels really sad. And she just wants to be treated with care. And she's probably confused, like, why is this person not responding? Do I not matter? She would just love, and you can even put your hand on your heart for your mom and be like, oh, I imagine that my mom is wanting to matter, is wanting some care and consideration.
Yep. I imagine that my mom is wanting some love, care, and consideration.
Yeah. Yeah. So just take a breath with that and connect to your mom's, what she would love, and the pain when those needs are not met. Just take a
Yep.
second with that.
Okay.
Your mom would love some more care and consideration, and that meets her needs for love.
Yeah.
Maybe she's also needing some understanding. Like, why is this happening? It's not making sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we connected to your mom. And how does your body feel when you connect to your mom in that way?
Again, relaxed. It feels better.
Yeah. And can you feel
Yeah.
the sadness? Because there's a difference when there's sort of in nonviolent communication, we talk about like a sweet sadness
Hmm.
versus like that sort of sour tainted sadness,
Hmm.
which is mixed in with anger and judgment.
Hmm.
So with your mom, I can just feel a really sweet sadness for her. Like, oh,
Hmm.
that makes sense when you don't have a sense that you matter, when your need for love isn't being met and your need for care. And yeah, it's very sad, right?
Yes.
But it's not mixed in with judgment of who's to blame and who's wrong and enemy images of your husband. It's just about your mom's heart.
Hmm.
Do you see how that's different?
Yeah.
That's a little sweeter.
Yes, for sure. Yep.
Yeah. And that's where unpleasant emotions, people think that there's good and bad emotions. Well, unpleasant emotions aren't bad. They're just they're just sadness.
Yeah.
The problem is more when we're filling it with anger and hatred and judgment and who's to blame and who's wrong and who do we have to, you know, kill or beat up or punish. That's when the sadness gets tainted.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And then you're picking, well, whose side am I on? Am I on my mom's side or my husband's side? And you don't want to, no, it's no fun to be on sides.
No,
We want to care for your mom's heart and your husband's heart.
exactly.
Yeah. So now that we connected to your mom, and what's interesting is the people don't have to be here to do a lot of this
No.
work. So people think, oh, well, I have to be able to talk to them or they need to be able to speak nonviolent communication. You don't need them for this. Now let's connect to your husband.
Okay.
Okay. And let's connect to his heart. What do you think his needs are? What needs are he meeting by not responding or blocking your mom's phone? That's a strategy to meet some needs.
He wants to be left alone.
Yeah. So maybe he wants some peace.
Yep.
Maybe he's protecting himself from the pain that he experiences conversing with your mother.
Yep. Yep. Or with many people.
Many
Correct.
people.
Yeah.
Maybe that is the best strategy he has for protecting himself from pain, communicating with different people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So when he's doing that, what would he would love some more harmonious communication, some more ease of communication, some more um yeah. I'm guessing just some more ease of connection and he's not exactly sure how to do that maybe.
No.
What do you think? What do you think?
Really, no communication is good.
Well,
Plain and simple.
he doesn't communicate with a lot of people, you're saying?
No. None.
None. Okay, so you can't think of a single person he communicates other than with you.
Correct.
Okay. So my guess, and this is a belief, this is a suspicion,
Hmm.
is that that's not what's bringing him the most joy, but it is a strategy to protect him. Like when we meet our needs for protection so strongly, we can actually get in the way of our needs for connection and community
Hmm.
and love. So there's something that feels dangerous for your husband around communicating.
Correct.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it makes sense that he's blocking phone numbers
Yes.
or not responding to not talking to people because it's very painful for him.
Right. And it's
Ah,
with his daughter also. So he's
not
not
responding to his daughter.
correct.
Yeah. So now let's connect to your husband's heart. He is protecting himself from pain and communication with people stimulates a lot of pain for him for a variety of reasons that we don't have to get into.
Hmm.
But can you see the good reason that he's blocking these calls and communications, that he's protecting himself from pain?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So maybe he's a little bit scared. Maybe he's feeling scared to talk because it's so painful to talk to people.
Hmm.
And he's feeling unsettled and nervous. But does it make sense, the good reason that he's not talking to people? Can you connect to that?
No.
Good. So tell me more about that.
Um, I think that's some of it, but I also, if there's not an agreement in your life's mission, that's when the turnoff happens. So if
Yeah.
your life isn't going the way it should be in that mind,
Yeah.
then all communication stops.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I say I'm glad you stopped me. When I say good reason, I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm
Okay.
saying it's meeting needs.
Okay. Got it. Yes. Yes.
So when I say the good reason, everybody has a good reason as far as they're concerned. I want to figure out what that is, regardless of whether it meets my needs.
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
So the needs that he's meeting is to protect himself.
Yes.
And it's very painful for him to communicate with people that see the world differently than him.
Right.
And he doesn't know how to reconcile that. Like, how can he be in relationship when you like watermelon and he thinks watermelon is gross?
Right.
Now, I'm just using that just because it almost sounds silly, but imagine
Yeah.
if somebody was like, if you don't like watermelon, I just can't be your friend.
Right.
What would you feel for that? But you'd be like, I don't really get it, but I feel a little sad that that's how
Definitely.
you are navigating the world.
Definitely.
But do I have to hate them or think
No.
that they're wrong?
No.
I feel more like, okay, if that's how you want to do it. Now, I also think in my mind, boy, I imagine that if he had the skills to navigate differences with more connection, he would enjoy that. But maybe he doesn't have that skill set. Maybe it wasn't something that was cultivated growing up for him,
Mm-hmm.
or modeled, or and he's got a lot of pain that's not processed. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
easier not to even open it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it comes back to protection, self-protection.
Yep.
So I see that he's meeting his need for self-protection, and I see the cost at the same time. But I can feel a lot of sadness and imagine a lot of loneliness for him.
Yes.
So I imagine he feels sad and lonely and scared. And the way he's meeting his needs to protect himself are by cutting people off and only letting people in if you see the world the way he does. That's how he meets his need for safety.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So when somebody that's how they're meeting the need for safety, I get it. I don't,
Mm-hmm.
I wish you could meet your need for safety in other ways. Like, I could lock myself in a box, from the world and say, this is the only way I can stay safe. If I go out of the box, the light's going to fall on me, and the tree might, I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
about all the bad things that are going to happen. Now, that might not be that intentional for him, but imagine that was the only way I knew how to stay safe, was to lock myself in a box in my basement.
Yep.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, poor Matt.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. He's so scared. And I imagine he's also lonely and hurting too.
Yeah.
Can you feel that care for your husband's heart?
Definitely. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And then we want to watch the jackals that are going to be like, well, how do I change him? Because I want to help him. They're called fix-it jackals.
Yeah.
Can't fix him.
Mm-mm.
Your job is to care for your needs and not stretch yourself beyond your range of tolerance when you're caring for the people in your life. So you can really connected to your needs and your values. And then your job is, when you have capacity, to empathize with the other people that you care about. So if your mom is coming to you and saying, and when people ask questions, they're upset, they're almost always wanting empathy, not an answer to their question.
Okay.
So when I say to you, Sherry, how could you, do that? What were you thinking? I don't really want you to explain yourself to me. I want you to imagine what's going on for me and maybe even guess. Be like, Matt, it sounds like you're really upset. There was something that I did that you didn't like. So you see, I don't know what it was, but I'm not answering what I did, because I did something thinking that this works for me. I didn't do it on purpose to hurt you, but clearly something I said didn't work for you, or something I did. So I'm not trying to explain myself. I'm trying to get an understanding of what's going on in their system, in their heart. So that's what I would do with your mom.
Okay.
So let's have you, why don't you play your mom and I'll play you? Does that work for
Okay.
you, Sherry?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yep.
say it to me like you would your mom. Now that, but
Okay.
you see, I did the work before to connect to your mom's heart, to connect to your husband's heart, to connect to your heart. So I'm much more grounded. I'm much more regulated right now versus, oh my God, what am I going to tell my mom? And I don't want to get in trouble and I don't want him to get in trouble. I'm more regulated now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more connected to everybody's heart. That's a very important step that we often overlook.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So now I want you to be your mom and I'm going to
Okay.
be you.
Okay.
Let's see how this goes. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So, Sherry, how was your day today? I know and this is usually how it goes. It just doesn't let me answer it, so I just let her go. I got my hair done. Your sister washed my clothes, and I'll tell you what, I can't believe that I haven't heard from your husband in like, I don't know, it's been like 5 years.
Yeah.
I've left messages and I get no return call, and I just can't believe this.
Yeah. Um, so mom, I'm hearing that you're confused. You're like, what's going on? You're trying to make sense of it. Is that what it is? Are you feeling upset
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah, I am upset.
You're upset, yeah. And like you're not getting a response and you're reaching out to people when they don't respond.
Well, I
It's
don't know
very
what I
upsetting
did
to you.
wrong.
Yeah. And then you think you did something wrong
Right. Well, yeah, of course
and
I
your
did
head
something
starts to,
wrong.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then your head starts to try and think about what you did wrong.
right.
Yeah. Because it sounds like you'd really like to be able to connect to my husband and be able to have conversations with him. Is that, you would enjoy that?
Well, yes, I can't believe he doesn't just come visit.
Yeah.
I'm here all the time and he just never stops by, never
Yeah.
has.
Oh. Yeah. You'd like everybody to visit you and be able to spend more time.
I would. Yes, I would.
Of course. That makes sense. Yeah. 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 And just as an aside, Sherry, I'm curious, do you visit your mom?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going there
So,
Sunday, as a matter of
yeah.
fact. Yes.
So then you would say, hey, mom, so I come and visit, but you're probably wondering what's going on for my husband.
Mhm.
And it's not adding up to you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he come with you?
Yeah. Got it. Yeah, I'm getting it. So is there more you want me to understand, mom? Or did I get it all?
No, no, I think you got it all. I just,
Yeah. So do you see
yeah.
how I'm just reflecting back? I'm
Yep.
empathizing. I'm guessing her feelings and needs. And then I'm trying to make sure she's fully heard. So I ask her, is there more you want me to hear? Because when people are upset, they almost always want empathy, even if they don't say it. And if you ask them if they want empathy, they're going to say no because they mistake it for like pity. And
Okay.
it's not
Yep.
that. They just want, it's just presence for what's going on in them. Does that make
So
sense?
it does make sense, but when there's a time crunch, when all this is happening and there isn't a lot of time to have all of this conversation because the husband might be right there pretty quick.
Yeah.
So it's more like I will respond with, can we just leave this alone and
Yeah.
let it
So
go?
so you're nervous with your husband
Yes,
being there. So then
correct.
again, that tension is telling you you're feeling torn. I would tell the person I want to connect, and I don't have capacity right now. So I'd
Okay,
say, Mom, I hear you and I want to connect about this, but I'd like to do it another time. I don't have the space to do it right now. So
got
and
it.
then I would tell them when I'm going to call them back so they realize this does matter.
Okay,
And I'd say, hey, Mom, this matters to me so much so that I'm going to put it down on my calendar to call you tomorrow when I'm able to be fully focused and present for you.
great.
But when your husband's there, you can't be fully present because you're also torn around his feelings and what's going on for an impact on him.
Right.
So do you see how you don't force it, but you
Yep,
don't sort of pretend to connect when you're not really able to either. And I
right.
don't think you can answer her question quickly. And
No,
she really needs empathy for her pain. And then at the same time, after I'm done with your mom, I'm going to have a conversation with uh, my husband. And I'm going to say, hey, let's say we said that to your mom, we're going to talk later.
yep.
And then she hangs up or you talk about other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I would say to my husband, I would say, hey, I want 100% respect your choice around who you talk to. But I'm also have my mom asking me why you don't call back. And I'm curious how you would respond if you're me in a way that honors you, as well. Because I don't want to say something that doesn't respect your privacy, but I also don't want to not respond to my mom. So can you help me craft a response that works
Oh,
for you?
I like that.
So you don't try to guess because that causes all the pressure on you. But when
Right.
you're talking to your husband, you want to make sure that he doesn't go to feeling any pressure or like you're taking your mom's side and judging him as, I can't believe you're not talking to my mom. What do you want me to say to her, for God's sakes?
Right. Right.
You say, hey, I really want to honor you and respect your choice. But how do I just help me, so that I can do it in a way that also responds to my mom, because that relationship's important to me as well.
I like that.
Okay.
Yep.
So be on his team, which is what people
Yes.
want.
Yes.
You're on team connection and care for everybody. That's your
Right.
team.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me hear you. When I work with people, I always ask them to, because they hear me say it and it sounds good, but then getting yourself to say it's a little harder sometimes. So what would you say
Okay.
to your husband?
Um, hey, Mike, I just had a conversation with my mom, and once again, she brought up why you haven't called or you don't come with me when I go visit
Oh, come
her.
on, Sherry, again and again, you're talking about it. I blocked her years ago. Now what do? I threw a curveball.
You did. Well, no, I
What does he
respect that.
what does he need? What does he need right away when he says that? He's
My
upset.
understanding.
He needs empathy and understanding.
Empathy. Yep.
So guess back, what do you think he's feeling and needing? He's probably imagining that what are his jackals saying? Sherry just,
Oh, I know what they're saying.
what are they saying? What are his jackals saying?
Well, because there's so much behind all of this, things that my mom has done to me that he's angry about.
Yeah.
And he doesn't understand how she could do those things to her own daughter.
Yeah.
So I know that's playing a part in this. Or
So you
I
think
know
that
that's
he's not talking to her to punish your mom for treating you poorly?
correct.
So that's what need that is a need for empathy and for this to matter. So he wants your mom to feel the pain that she stimulated on you. And
I
that's
mean,
a tragic strategy for
yeah,
empathy,
yeah,
when you want someone else to feel the pain that you're feeling.
right.
So that's why kids hit other kids when they're angry. They want the other kid to feel their pain. There's a couple other needs, but we'll keep it simple.
Okay,
So now when he's like, oh, Sherry, here we go again.
right.
What do you think he's thinking? He's like, was it like, we've already talked about this. Why are you bringing this up
Yes,
again?
yes. Well, I'm bringing it up because she brought it up again, and I
Okay,
just want.
hold on.
Okay,
Empathize again with him. So when
okay,
if you think that he's saying, why are you bringing this up again? Basically, don't answer.
okay.
Be like, hey, are you feeling pressure? If I bring it up again and you don't want to talk, are you feeling pressure that I'm going to try and force you to talk to my mom? Is that what it is? Even if you guess wrong, you're now in his space. You're caring about his heart, his feelings, his needs. That's what you want to be when someone's upset, not explaining yourself. So even if you guess wrong, like let's say you play Mike and I'm playing you, and I would say, hey, Mike, are you feeling now when I bring up my mom, are you worried that there's going to be pressure to talk to her? You're going to have to do something you don't want to do, which is basically his need for autonomy. And how would he respond?
Well, yeah, I don't like her.
Yeah. So you want to be very clear that you don't like what she's done, you don't
Right,
like how she's treated me,
right.
and you have no desire to talk to her.
Correct.
Bam. Now you see how when I empathize with him, his system's going to disarm. Because if he thinks you're trying to force him to talk, he's not going to hear anything else.
Right.
If he thinks you're going to force him to have a relationship with her, he's not going to hear anything else. That's not what you want.
No.
But by trying to explain what you really want, that's not going to disarm his system. Empathy is going to disarm his system. So
Okay.
that's where you say, hey, Mike, I get it. You don't want to be forced to talk to somebody or have a relation with somebody you don't want to. And I agree with you. I don't want you to either.
Mm-hmm.
So can I tell you why I'm bringing this up? So now I go back, and after I empathize with him, I ask if he's ready to hear what is true for me, which is not to force him the relationship with my mom. And he'll say yes or no. What would he say if I asked him now that he's not being forced? Is he willing to hear what I have to say? Because I don't ever share it unless they tell me they're willing to hear it.
I don't think so.
Okay, what would he say when I asked him, is he willing? What would he say?
He wouldn't want to talk about it. That's
Okay,
plain and
so here we
simple.
go. This
Yeah.
happens, and then you feel stuck because
Right.
you're like, well, how do I meet my needs? This is what I would say to him. And if he's not willing to stay in dialogue, then I might even write him a note. But I would say, hey, Mike, I hear that you don't want to talk about this. And I really care about you, and I want to give you choice. I don't want to force you to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I also need to meet my needs for care for my mom. So I need to at least have a response. I don't have to. I want to be able to respond to her when she asks me this question in a way that works for you. I'm happy to talk about it with you, or I can just do what I think will work for me. But I'm not willing to just not respond to her because you don't want to talk about it. So that's what I'm communicating. Again, I wouldn't say the last part, but that's what I'm communicating.
Yeah.
So then if he doesn't, and this happens a lot with parents and kids, the kids don't want to talk. And I say, well, if the kids think they don't talk and they get their way, then why would they want to talk?
Right.
So either the kids have to learn that we have to care about both people's needs being met, or I'm going to meet my own needs, but it may not be the way that works for you. So if you want to be involved in my decision, I need you to dialogue with me.
Yep.
And if you don't care, then I'll do the best I can. No, please know that I'm going to try my best to care for you, but I'm gonna talk to my mom, the best I can.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
So do you see how now you aren't forced? You don't feel like you have to get him to talk,
Right.
and you've also been transparent that I'm going to answer this question. And if you want to be involved in helping me formulate the answer,
Yep.
let's talk. And if you don't, just I'll do the best I can.
Yep. 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 That makes sense.
How does that feel when I say it that way, Shay?
Oh, it feels better because it's the truth. You should give somebody the opportunity to have a say in this, and if they really don't want to, then again, inform them that. But that makes me feel better about that. That I've given him the chance.
Yeah.
But also communicated that.
Right, because then you've met a need for inclusion. You're including him
Right.
if he's willing. You want to collaborate. You're trying to.
Right.
And then he gets to choose if he wants to be involved or not.
Right.
But he doesn't get to choose what you share with your mom and what you don't share.
Right.
He can inform, and then you can take that into account. But ultimately, you choose what you share with your mom and what you don't share.
Right. Yep.
So,
now,
yeah.
Because it's happened with the daughter also, she's not mine. How do you handle that type of a situation? Because there is definitely a connection between she and I. There always has been. That's a very hard one.
Yeah. And it depends. It depends on the relationship, but it's similar strategies of trying to meet your needs, care for his needs, and care for his daughter's needs. And ultimately, it's different though, because this is his daughter. And do you have a close relationship with her? Are you close to her?
Yeah, pretty close. Yes.
Yeah. How often do you talk to her?
Well, we do a lot of texting. Sometimes every day for a while, and then it'll drop off for a little while, and then every day for a while, and then it'll drop off, but off and on quite a bit.
So,
And there's a
and if she,
grandson involved also.
a
So she
grandson,
has a child.
yeah, and she
So
wants
she
to have
had
some communication with her dad.
she wants, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you see her and the grandchild?
I have not. If I were not in the physical situation that I am, I would definitely. But
Right.
being this disabled part of me that can't do everything that I would like to do, I can't.
Yeah.
So we were seeing them for a while. But he just didn't want to continue that on. So I haven't seen her. It's more of a texting thing now.
Yeah.
We live on different sides of town. So, and I'm not comfortable going to where she is and exposing myself and my disability to people. I'm more comfortable in my own world over here. So it's very difficult that way too.
Hmm.
But in bringing her up, she was with us a lot. And so there was definitely a huge connection between she and I.
Right.
And
So, so that's important to you. So if she came over, you would have her over at your house. You would
oh,
be okay with it.
oh, God, yes. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So if
In a
you would
heartbeat.
like her to come
Yes.
and you can't leave the house because of, or it's very hard for you to leave your
Mm-hmm.
house, you can then make that clear to your partner that this is your house and his house.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't have to be there if he doesn't want to be there. But you want to be able to maintain a connection with her and the grandson.
Mm-hmm.
And you can say, hey, I would like to maintain a connection with her. And I want to do it in a way that honors your choice, Mike.
Mm.
So one of the things that would meet my need for connection is for her to see her physically, and we can, meet at different places, but it's hard for me to get out. So when she plans on coming here, I would like to give you warning, and then maybe you can go out and do something if you don't want to see her. What do you think about that, Mike? But the idea is, again, you're collaborating with him. And
Yep.
if he gets angry, you empathize with his anger. He
Okay.
might get angry and be like, why are you forcing her on me? I don't make me, this is my home. And it's just, and you say, hey, so it sounds like you're really angry. You want to be able to have only the people that you want in your house. You don't want to have people that you don't choose in your home. And that makes sense to have choice around that. So I get it. That's upsetting to you when I'm bringing up the idea of someone coming in the house that you don't enjoy. So, I'd love to work together on this. And before I decide, you're not attached to her coming to the house, but you'd like him to hear that it's also important that he works with you around your disability, and how can you see her and honor your disability.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you say, hey, I'd love to put our heads together, Mike. And again, you're trying to collaborate with him.
Mm-hmm.
How do I do this in a way that gives you choice and freedom to talk to and not talk to whoever you choose, and I can connect with people in a way that works for me and my disability? I'm thinking, here's a couple options. Maybe we meet in the back and we'll meet outside. Maybe we meet locally and she meets you. Maybe she comes to the house and he goes out during that time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's something I'd love to explore with you, Mike, if you're willing to talk through so that I can take your needs into account as well. And if he says, well, I just don't want her here, you can say, hey, I'm hearing that you don't want her here, and I'm trying to figure out a way that works. So when you're ready to dialogue, great. But in the meantime, I'll do what I think works best.
So how do you answer the questions that the daughter has again as to why my father won't
Yeah.
talk to me?
Yeah. Well,
I had the same issue. My parents were divorced when I was a baby. And
Yeah.
my father, there's three girls and one boy. He didn't like girls and he made it known, and he didn't see us. He saw the boy, but it wouldn't have anything to do with us. So that in my
painful.
heart hurts that this has happened
Yeah.
because I never wanted this to happen I never wanted to see anybody else have this happen, and it's happened.
Right. Yeah. Very painful for you. And that's what would be sweet. Again, I don't know what Mike's capacity is, but if he could hear how this is painful for you without him hearing pressure to change, that would be nice. So if he could hear, this happened to me, when I was growing up, my dad didn't want to see me. It was so painful. And so I'm particularly sensitive to that happening. And again, I don't want to pressure you, Mike, to do something that doesn't work for you. My reason for telling you is not to pressure you. It's just for you to hear why this is so sensitive and tender for me. So what I'm wondering is if the only reason I'm bringing it up is to make it clear, can you see both, Mike, that I want to honor your choice and freedom, and this is particularly sensitive and tender for me? Can you see both, Mike, at the same time? And maybe he'll say yes, or maybe he won't. And depending on what he says is where I would go next. If he gets angry, all that means is he needs empathy. When people get angry, they're basically needing empathy the most, and they're talking in ways that are least likely to get them the empathy they need.
Yeah.
So you can do them a favor by giving them empathy. Be like, yeah, this is upsetting to you, I'm hearing. Just so you stop what you're talking about and focus again on them.
Okay.
Now, you also have to decide how much energy you want to put into each of your relationships. So that's something else that's a separate conversation, which is, I want to be able to share my needs freely. And I want some people to care about my needs as much as they care about theirs. And I want to be able to dialogue. And there's certain relationships where that flows easy, and there's others where it's really hard. So how much energy do I want to put into this? Now, if you're trying to respect his wishes and his wishes impact the way you would normally meet your needs, now you're at a point where you have to dialogue with him or do what works for you and deal with whatever his reaction is. Because it almost is like, which is harder, to deal with his reaction after the fact?
I know.
Or try and dialogue with him first.
Right.
But what I don't want you to do is suppress your needs.
Okay.
Like think that your needs are a burden, or that your needs are, unfair or unjustified. Your needs to have connection with the people you care about, and, totally and 100% valid. And we need to tend to those. And when you don't tend to those needs, our body experiences, this sense of that threat physiology that I talk about a lot.
Yep.
And that affects our, our need to regulate and our food choice. I mean, it affects everything. So what you're doing here is really important, because we're fleshing out that you have these unmet needs to communicate honestly with your mom, to care for Mike, to connect with it's your stepdaughter. And you have all these beautiful needs that aren't getting met.
Right.
So it's like, how can we meet them in a way that cares for and respects everybody to the best of your ability? And, within your range of tolerance as far as how much energy you want to put into the process. That makes sense?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So I like this idea of collaborating with him. I like this idea of being expansive around how you do meet the daughter. When she asks you about him, you can say to her, hey, that's between your father, and then empathize. Be like, I can imagine how painful. You not only can you empathize, you can sympathize. You can say, I imagine it's so painful to reach out to your father and not get a response. Like, just, it hits that mattering button. It really hits that. And not only can I empathize with that, I went through that too, so I'm sympathizing.
Yeah.
So you don't want to sympathize until you've empathized.
Okay.
So don't, because then you make it about you.
Yeah.
So start with her and be like, I bet that is so upsetting and sad, and maybe you feel lonely when people don't respond, and it's like it hits your mattering and worth. It's so painful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I left out the other day was I went straight to, I can't answer that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. But that empathy,
Stay with the empathy.
Yeah, she needs.
Stay with the empathy.
Yeah.
Because she probably knows that you're caught in the middle.
She does.
And ultimately, what are you going to say? You could be like, you know what? What do I tell you? If he doesn't like her, if he's mad at her, she can guess. I mean, maybe he doesn't even know why he's not talking to her. Usually when who knows?
Yeah.
But you can say in general, when people don't talk, they're protecting themselves from some kind of pain they imagine will happen when they talk.
Yeah.
And I know that he really struggles with talking to people, that see the world differently. I don't know
Right.
specifically with you why he's choosing what he's choosing. And I'm with you. I wish that he would talk to you, but for some reason, that's too painful for him. That's too uncomfortable for him. So yeah, I get, and then you go back to empathy.
Yeah.
I hear why you're so upset. I get it.
Yeah.
So do you see how I'm sort of generalizing without speaking
Yes.
for him?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I'm talking about the needs. I'm also sort of hinting at some of the good reasons he's doing what he's
Yeah.
doing, like protecting himself. It's too uncomfortable, whatever it is. I don't know
Yeah.
specifically. And then, go back to her pain.
Yes. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
So, um, so how you doing now after all of that?
Better. More clear on, yes, more clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you see how there's two parts? We spent time in the heart around the feelings
Yes.
and needs, and
Yeah.
then we go into the head
Yeah.
around how to execute the dialogue and the intention behind it.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing with nonviolent communication, going from heart to head to heart. So once I explain how I would approach, your stepdaughter, for example, you go back to the heart around, and your goal is to just imagine what her heart is feeling and needing,
Yeah.
and stay with that.
Yeah.
And people appreciate that.
Yes.
And you don't have to tell them, you don't even have to get it right. You make a guess. I'm guessing you're feeling sad and confused when
Yeah.
somebody doesn't respond despite reaching out multiple times. And maybe it's stimulating your need for mattering and care.
Yeah.
Is that what's going on? And see, I just did the 4 steps
Yeah.
of NVC, of observation, feeling, need, and request. Is that what's
Yeah.
going on? Was my request? Is that what's happening inside of you? And she'll say, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then guess what? Even though you haven't changed whether he's talking to her or not, she's
Right.
going to feel some peace because you've connected to her needs.
Yep.
And that's really what, I mean, it'd be nice to meet her need for connection with her dad.
I know.
But what's most pressing in the moment is just a regulation and getting some inner peace around what's happening.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes, definitely.
Good. So how is it to pause here?
Good.
Is there anything else that you wanted me to answer before we?
No, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So let me check if AJ has any
Okay.
thoughts or questions.
Sounds good.
Let's see if she's
I was just,
back.
I feel like a fly on the wall, like I'm, and I have been listening. Audience, if you have any questions, just post it in the chat. It just makes me realize that, that old saying, it takes 2 to tango,
Yep.
because if you just do the work, it's just, why can't they teach this to us younger in
I know.
relationships?
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It's so hard, and even when you think about things like mediation in the real world, you got, it does. I think another person has to sometimes be willing. Don't you agree, Dr. Matt, to receive some of this?
I think that they don't have to be willing for you to always react with empathy, but they have to be willing to go deeper into what they're feeling and needing. Because some people, when you guess a feeling and need, it's so uncomfortable that they don't want to go vulnerable. So, like, for example, when people are angry, guessing, hey, are you feeling sad and embarrassed? No, they're gonna be like, no, I'm angry. Even if there's sadness and embarrassment underneath. So that's an example of when the heart is guarded because of anger. But some people just have a guarded heart because talking about feelings was never supported, or it was attacked, or it was punished, or it led to withdrawal or abandonment. So it's very dangerous. But that doesn't mean that we can even give silent empathy. Like what we just did for your mom, Sherry,
Mm-hmm.
and for Mike
Mm-hmm.
is silent empathy.
Yeah.
I didn't talk to either of them.
No. Mm-hmm.
But do you see how it shifted how you feel towards them?
Yes. Yeah.
That's the power of silent empathy, AJ. None of them are even here, let alone having practiced NVC. So
Mm.
that's what's cool, is that you can send out this energy into the world, and it shifts your system, which to me is really
Is,
powerful.
yeah,
You felt differently in your system.
right.
So yes, I would love to teach it. I'd love to open an NVC school and for kids. And
Wow.
they have all these electives. They have all these electives. And I'm like, why don't they have like a communication, social, emotional intelligence elective? You know, I was talking to my kids. They said they would love it if that was one of their electives.
Wow.
But instead, they're getting some other ones that are, I guess, more popular. I don't know. But I think a lot of people don't know about this, so maybe that's the other reason.
Yeah. Well, I'll enroll in your school.
Me too.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate it. So,
Yeah.
AJ, do you does it make sense that you don't need the other? It's nice when the other person has the NVC skills, but do you see how you can show up regardless of whether they have the skills?
I think so, but it would be nice if they did show up,
Yeah.
obviously. Dr. Matt, there's a question from Vi. Can you explain what compassionate boundaries are?
So a lot of times when people have boundaries, they wait until they're at the end of their rope. I did this with Alona the other day. And it was a little bit of a harsh boundary because I was practicing only hearing what I had capacity for. And at one point something was bothering her, and she started to talk about it, and I started to listen. And it was something she didn't like about something that somebody did, I think, and I stopped and I said, actually, I don't want to hear about that. I'd like to hear about something that's going well in your life right now. Now, that was not super harsh, but it wasn't a compassionate or warm boundary versus saying, hey, I'm hearing that this is on top of mind right now, and I'm not in a space to take that in. Can we talk about that later? And right now, talk about something that's going well in your life, or maybe we just talk later. How would that feel?
Mm,
And I came back to her later and did that. So I redid it. But you see how now some people can have a harsh boundary where they just say, yeah, they put their hands up, and it's harsher than what I did even. So I think that when we're at the end of our rope, we tend to have a harsh boundary, and we'll say, I just can't take it anymore. I just can't deal with it. Just leave me alone, or something, or we're communicating that basically. It's like a harsh wall. And what I tell people is to try to disengage with connection before you're at the end of your rope. Because if you have like one more exchange before you're going to lose your patience,
mm,
then you don't want to wait any longer. You want to disengage now while you still could handle one more exchange. That's very important with kids, for parents with kids. But in general, a warm boundary is basically saying what your needs are, what's preventing you from wanting to talk right now or do that right now, but to do it with care for the other person. And a lot of people have trouble having boundaries at all. They wait until they're so angry that then the power of anger allows them to have the boundary, but then it's extremely harsh and the other person gets offended, and it reinforces the idea that boundaries offend people and hurt people, when in fact, it's just waiting until you're at the end of your rope and then you have a harsh boundary. That's what's painful. But regular boundaries are like guardrails on a road. The people with the best compassionate boundaries are often the nicest people. They're the most compassionate because they're never doing anything out of obligation. They're stopping well before. They're not listening out of obligation. They're not doing things out of obligation. They just say, hey, here's what's preventing me from saying yes or listening. So those guardrails are super helpful. So we don't want to have no guardrails, and we don't want to have like sharp, pointy guardrails either.
It seems like everything in life, like I watch my pups a lot, and it seems like almost every organism in life, they're all just trying to get their needs met by their behavior, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent.
Yes, exact. AJ, you could be teaching a NBC class. That's exactly what they said, is that everybody, with everything they're doing, they're trying to meet needs. We just don't always like the strategies they're employing to meet them.
Yeah.
Dare I say, pick your political figure. I think we're going to do a show on that.
Yeah,
But
next week. Oh, it's going to be a good one. Yeah, because a
oh,
lot of this is very heated.
yeah, so pick the political figure that you like or don't like, and they're all trying to meet needs. That's how we connect, even if we hate the way they're trying to meet them.
yep.
Now,
Oh,
when you are so angry, you can't connect to that because so basically you just are there's so much pain. So that's why people need a little empathy before they can connect to the needs that the other person is trying to meet.
You know how, like, when a patient's in the hospital, especially if they've had surgery, because a lot of times in hospitals, not everybody speaks the same language. Maybe they're not English speaking in a United States hospital. You've probably seen this, Dr. Matt, or you, Sherry, if you've been a patient, where they have like this board where it's like different smiles, like how much pain a person is, right? And they
Yeah.
can, so if they can't
Oh,
say, they can point. Is there like a board of needs like that we could use? Because sometimes I think we just want something so bad, but we don't know what need we're trying to get met by acting a certain way.
yeah.
Yeah, I have on our website, there's a free resource. I keep adding to this. And there's one of the links is feelings and needs for children. And they have pictures. So here I can show you, I can share the screen here. But I like it because hold on a second here. Let's see if it opens up. Feelings and needs for kids handout. So it's not great, but at least the kids can, it helps them a little. Hold on a second here. Oh, it disabled sharing. But if you
Okay, here you go.
be
Let
able
me
to
fix
help me
that
share.
for you. There you
All right,
go. Should work
there we
now.
go. Okay, here we go. Application window. Does that work now? Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if they go,
Mm.
it's not perfect, but it helps kids sort of point and learn. When kids are first learning these, they'll usually pick one or two needs. Like my kids, when they first learned, they were like four, let's see, 2017. Yeah, 4 and 6. And now they're 14 and 12. And they would say consideration was the need for everything. Yeah, that's not meeting my need for consideration. And then eventually, like they do with words when they're learning English or whatever language they're learning, they start with a couple and they branch out. So,
Sometimes I think we ourselves don't always know what the need is. Do you agree? Like we
yeah.
might, like I was thinking back to I did have the dental surgery on Tuesday. The reason I didn't do it like 12 days ago was because my dentist was out of town. So I tried to go to a different oral surgeon. And I was in the chair and I was about to do it. And then I said something to the effect of like, well, if I have problems after hours, is there a number to call? And she goes, oh, no, our number's not working. It's not working this week. And so I bolted out of the chair. And then now thinking
Mm.
back, I mean, I realized, well, my need for feeling safe in a surgical setting. But I didn't think of it at the time. It was like no after hours number. I'm out of here. But now
Yeah,
maybe I could have said, well, that doesn't meet my need for feeling safe and secure having a surgical procedure.
exactly. And that's what what you're doing. I know, AJ, you're hard on yourself. So you're like, if I don't get it all perfectly now, but you're slowly learning. You're learning to pause. You're learning to take time. You're reflecting back. This is how you start to build that muscle, and it's going to get closer and closer to eventually when you're in the chair, you'll remember. But
Mm.
but you have to practice it. So you'll know like, oh, this doesn't meet my need for safety at all. Like I need more reassurance. So I'm gonna pause on this until I trust that there's a number that can provide help and support if I need it.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
it's
need
just
a little
something that comes
handbook.
over time. A little.
You know how like they have those little books like when you travel to another country, you're just like a little NVC thing. Okay, what am I feeling now? What need is not being met? I remember interviewing with Dr. Pam Peak now, and for one of the Truth About Weight Loss summits, and one of the things she said is, one of the things people can say is, "I'm sorry, that just doesn't work for me."
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. A big one is I'm just not comfortable with that.
Yeah,
How can people argue with your comfort? Now they can make
yeah,
fun of
that's
it,
true.
but they can't
Yeah.
argue. Oh no, yes you are. They could ask you why you're not comfortable, but you can just say, no, I'm just not comfortable. Well, why not? And it's just the way it is. And like Doug would say, remember what did he have? Like pushy or something? He had like Doug Lyle. I can't remember what he called them, but it was like people that were pushy and pretending that they're interested in why, but really they're just trying to figure out if they can justify your no, and if not, can they figure out how to convince you to change it to a yes. So to me, I tell them once and then I say, I'm not really going to answer, whether it's kids or another adult. I'm not really going to answer it again. I already told you where I'm at with this, but I'm happy to talk about something else. So that's example of a warmer boundary versus I'm not talking about this, because they ask you so many times and then you get upset and you're like, I'm just done. Versus saying, oh, I'm not going to talk about this because I already answered it. It's not going to change, but I'm happy to talk about something else. That's a little warmer of a boundary. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Some people seem to have a easier time with this, with setting boundaries and saying no. I wonder
Yeah.
if if trauma sets a person up for having a harder time with this.
Yeah. Usually people that have experienced trauma, especially, relationship trauma, the boundaries weren't modeled or respected. Um, so it's just not something that's practiced. And when you did have them, it was almost dangerous, where somebody could either make fun of you, pull away and be like, poor me. So they would go to the, oh my God, you don't love me, you don't care. Or they would just come aggressively over your boundary. So you learn to sort of, instead of have boundaries, to move with the other person and modify and change yourself to minimize um, fallout in the relationship. So you got really good at reading people. So people that have experienced trauma are really good at reading people and then making themselves small or distort their feelings and needs to get along so that they can maintain the attachment. But as adults, you don't have to do that anymore depending on the relationships you choose to be in. And it's just a matter then of practicing and not using the same skills you used when you were a kid to cope with a very challenging set of circumstances. Now that takes some time. Like AJ, you always talk about this. It takes effort. You can't just decide, okay, now I'm going to have boundaries and all's going to be good. You got to practice it, learn how to do it. That's very different than just taking a pill when you're ready to all of a sudden have boundaries. But if I can come up with a boundary pill, I would be a very rich man.
Yeah.
Well, just start working on it now.
Exactly. A
Oh,
boundary pill.
yeah, I'm excited and nervous about next week's show because it is about Rebecca Martinez is going to be the guest, and about how the political climate has affected many of her close relationships,
Wow.
and how difficult it is working where she's working. And it's not about politics next week. It's how to kind of get along with people that think and feel differently than you, right?
Right, right, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking
So,
forward to it.
Nice.
yeah,
I
well,
don't have any
that'll be
answers.
good.
See,
It's
my
not easy.
avoidance, yeah, my
Oh,
answer up until recently in life when something was difficult was just to avoid it. So,
I don't know. That's not how you've been since we've been
well, no,
talking, though. I
no,
think
now
you,
I'm facing everything head on, but in general, when things are difficult. So, and I think it's difficult. But it's good because when we started out, nobody wanted to be on the show, and now we got a lot of people applying. So just email help@chefaj.com if you have a problem or something you'd like to talk to Dr. Matt about, and use these techniques to see if you can you know, at least feel better. Maybe you can't fix it, but maybe you can understand it and feel better about it.
and will expand what fixing it really means. So you may
Yeah.
not be able to control or change the other person, but you can definitely change your relationship to them and to the situation. So
Oh,
it's exciting, AJ. I actually am appreciative of your audience. We're already booked out through the end of April.
absolutely. But
So I'm
can you
glad that
teach the other
people,
method, how we can have exactly what we want using these techniques? Is there like another?
that's a that's on Wednesdays. I don't who's leading that show, AJ.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sherry. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Doctor.
thank you.
It's really,
Yes,
it's
thank
really
you, Sherry. I really
Yes,
appreciate you
thank you. I
sharing all that.
appreciate
Yeah.
that also.
And hopefully you guys can see yourself in some of these situations and learn a different way of responding if you choose to. And thanks for watching another episode of Chef AJ and Friends. 2 shows tomorrow. 10 a.m. is the Q&A with Dr. Ron Weiss. It's called The Doctor Is In. He answers your medical questions. And 12 o'clock, we have a real life trauma therapist coming on explaining why it's important if you've had trauma to get some type of treatment. And I bet you work with a lot of people with trauma, Dr. Matt, right? Or that have had it.
Yes. 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 That's that we work a lot with that. Trauma informed is essential.